Good evening, I'm Russ McCaskey sitting in for Mike Carpenter.
And I'm Deborah Lauren. Ahead tonight on Weekend Edition, he fought for those who had nothing to fight with. And tonight, Oklahoma City's homeless pay their respects.
More charges stemming from the shooting death of a Moore teenager.
And what was once thought impossible becomes another medical miracle. These stories and more next on Newsline 9.
Look at these 6-inch bolts. 16 of them hold a sturdy bunk bed together. We're talking sturdy. It's just part of the exclusive barn door collection, now on sale during the 1-year anniversary of the mall. Here's furniture that will continue to look good and withstand most anything as your children grow. And it costs much less than you'd expect. For starters, the day bed, complete with link springs, is only $1.99. This loft bed collection is perfect for study, sleeping, and play. Everything you see, just $9.99. Come see Barn Door and bring the kids. They're going to love it at Evans.
There's a new name in pickups.
Sonoma.
So what's in a name?
The 1991 Sonoma from your GMC truck dealer is so tough, with tough features like rear-wheel anti-lock brakes and 4-wheel shift on the fly.
Sonoma is so fun. Great looks, real comfort, and a touch of class.
Sonoma is so smart. Right now you get $1,000 cash back or 7.9% APR GMAC financing for 48 months.
So what's in a name?
So much. It's Sonoma.
Get it only at Jackie Cooper, Bob Howard, Joe Coker, and Ferguson, your GMC truck trading team.
Go down!
Weekdays at 4, only on TV9. KWTV 9, the spirit of Oklahoma.
Now, the #1 rated newscast in Oklahoma with Deborah Lauren, Mike Carpenter, sports with Rich Lenz, and Alan Mitchell with the weather. This is Newsline 9 Weekend Edition.
Thanks for joining us. He brought nationwide attention to the plight of the homeless in America, and today the people of Oklahoma City's Jesus House paid their respects. The death this week of homeless advocate Mitch Schneider came as a shock to those who dedicated their lives to helping the downtrodden. But Newsline 9's Brett Johnson reports Schneider's efforts will never be forgotten.
He is indeed the wind beneath our wings, and we honor you, Mitch Schneider.
He was the inspiration and guiding light for millions of people in America who at times had lost all hope. And today, the homeless of Oklahoma City remembered Mitch Schneider as the one man who recognized their cause and called on the nation to do the same.
The inspiration mainly was that he gave them motivation. He gave them an energy that they did not have to make them strive toward a higher mark. And, you know, and by him being so full of energy, himself, it caught on that homeless people began to stand up and speak for themselves.
Speaking up is one of the things Schneider did best, but on Thursday he was found dead from an apparent suicide in Washington, D.C. He made 3 separate trips to Oklahoma City's Jesus House, advocating rights, justice, and aid for the homeless.
For the country, our own, which is the wealthiest that the world has ever seen, there's something wrong. If the best that we can provide, if we're lucky enough to be able to provide that, is just a roof over somebody's head in an emergency shelter.
The folks who came to pay respects to Schneider today say his efforts were never in vain, but they know he can't be replaced.
We just kind of band together and not let him be forgotten, the work that he's done. You know, he's brought us this far, and if we all work together in his memory, then, you know, maybe they won't forget that, you know, this is really a true problem, and it's not something, if you close your eyes, it's going to go away.
Brett Johnson, Newsline 9, late edition.
Police believe gambling is linked to the shooting death of a Moore teenager earlier this year. The boy's father, 43-year-old Jimmy Michael Epperson, now faces 1 felony count of commercial gambling. He will also testify in the trials of those charged in his son's murder. In January, 19-year-old Chad Epperson was shot in the back when 3 men allegedly broke into his home and demanded money. Police believe the suspects planned the alleged break-in several months beforehand, hoping to seize a bankroll of an alleged bookie operation. An arrest warrant has also been issued for a 7th murder suspect. He is 35-year-old Arthur Rodriguez of Oklahoma City. Police say he escaped from a Lawton Correctional Facility early Thursday. Now, Albert Ray Johnson may be responsible for the abduction of 2 Yukon women. Police suspect 23-year-old Johnson may be the same man who kidnapped Linda Perry and another woman sometime Thursday morning. The women were released unharmed in War Acres, but only after they were robbed of about $100. Johnson is still at large. Police say he's 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs about 150 pounds.
Firefighters were called to the scene of a 3-alarm fire early this morning that ripped through the New Way cleaners in downtown Oklahoma City. Workers reported that the fire began yesterday afternoon in a section of the building that is under construction. Workers thought they had put it out, but it was apparently left smoldering and reignited about 1 this morning. The fire was contained to the part of the building under construction, but smoke damage is extensive and could top $50,000. A nursing home for the critically ill and handicapped children says it's handicapped by an out-of-date building. The Children's Center in Bethany is raising money for a new facility. Newsline 9's Dana Baird tells how old treasures are helping building a new center.
Breathing is a subconscious effort for most of us, but for Ashley Barkley, it's a tremendous chore. Ashley was born with a paralyzed diaphragm and depends on a ventilator to get her to the next day. For the past 8 months, she has lived at the Children's Center, where she receives 24-hour nursing care. But providing Ashley the attention she needs doesn't come as natural as it appears. The Children's Center is also handicapped by a building more than 50 years old.
We bring in the oxygen tanks, we bring in the air, the compressors. We can't set it up like a hospital. We just work with what we have.
Employees say they would like to have a new building. They say their jobs would be easier and they would have more time to spend playing with patients.
If we're going to take care of the medical needs in the year 2000, we have to very seriously think about how we're going to do that.
One way is a garage sale. This annual bonanza of bargains this year benefits a new building fund.
I'll tell you what we'll do, the whole thing.
Other fundraising events have collected about $100,000 for the cause. The center needs about $5 million over the next 5 years.
I worked here when I was in college, and I think it's a real nice institution. It does very good care for the children, and I think it's a very worthwhile cause.
You'll get no arguments from these faces. Your donations to the building fund are the foundation of their futures. Dana Baird, Newsline 9, late edition.
Breathing easier with a new lease on life. Oklahoma's first single lung transplant patient, Betty Phillips, is now at home after undergoing the historic operation just 2 weeks ago. At 54 years old, Phillips has spent more than a decade tethered to an oxygen machine with a very limited lifestyle. Now, single lung transplants were once thought impossible, but in the past year, a new door has been opened to emphysema patients.
It would make a difference. I didn't think I would feel this good this soon.
Phillips says 3 days after the operation, she was ready to take on the world. Her husband has promised to take her on a cruise, and she